Welcome everybody to The Wine Stain. I'm Dave Serposo. Glad you could join us. On today's show, we're going to try a couple of Chardonnays. We're going to stick in that under $10 range one more time. This is as we lead into the Christmas holidays. Last week we did the red wines, the Merlot and the Cabernet from the Robert Mondavi Reserve line. And now we're going to give a couple of Chardonnays that still fall in that same price range if you have white wine drinkers coming over for the celebrations, or if you just want to know about a couple that you can have on hand. Next week we're going to try something a little bit in the more of the $20 to $25 range with some Cabernets. I think both are from the Napa Valley area. So we'll try those, and we're going to bounce around. If you guys have suggestions or things you want me to review, give me a little comment, a little note on the site, and I'll do my best to put it into the mix here. The first one is Meridian. If you have looked around on the site, you'll see that I reviewed this wine. It was one of the first reviews I did. But wines change from year to year, sometimes drastically, sometimes very slight changes. This is a 2010. I think the one I reviewed was an 08. Might even, I think it was an 08. I don't think it was an 07, but it was a while ago. If I recall, it had a lot of green apple, real crisp kind of flavors in it, and even a little honeysuckle floral feel to it. So let's see how it is in 2010. Well, the green apple has left. As a matter of fact, not much even in the honeysuckle area. What I'm getting is more pear, peaches, and in that realm. So it seems that it's not quite as crisp as the one was that I had tried before. The one, if I recall before, seems like it spent almost its whole life in stainless tanks and not a lot of time in oak. And oak will bring a lot of that sort of sharp, crisp fruit flavors, bring them down a little bit and mute them. So let's see what it tastes like. As you can see on the color, it's a little lighter than some Chardonnays, but it's certainly not Sauvignon Blanc light. So I think it's about where it always has been. There's some of the green apple there. Also a little bit of floral feel, sort of powdery feel, not like a talc, but just sort of a soft powder. Didn't really get any of the honeysuckle or any of those flavors. A little bit of the pear and the peach came through, also in the taste as well, mainly on the mid-palate area. The finish is real good. Meridian Chardonnay has always been regarded as one of the best you can find in that under $10 range. As a matter of fact, a lot of people say, even into the $15 and close to $20 range, it's on the top of their lists. It is a good wine, and usually falls under that more crisp end of things. I think this one is pushing back just a little bit from that. So if you're looking for a real crisp one for a summer day, I don't know if this particular one this year meets that mark, but it's nice, and I think everyone would probably enjoy it. All right, now we're going to try the Coppola. This is from Francis Ford Coppola of Godfather fame, and he started his winery a number of years ago and has some very good quality wines, but also has a couple of wines that are in the lower $10 range, this Chardonnay being one, and then they have a red called Rosso, R-O-S-S-O. I'm not sure exactly how you pronounce that, and that's a nice little wine as well. I call it my pizza wine. So if you're having some pizza and you want to have a nice, somewhat red Italian table wine, it's not too bad. This is very flowery. As a matter of fact, I'm not getting much in the way of fruit aromas at all. A little bit in sort of the pear, but it's almost more like a pear blossom or something along those lines, but not real fruity. I can tell that it has spent some time in oak. So let's see if it falls under the buttery terminology that we get from Chardonnays that have spent a lot of time in the oak. There's definitely some oak on this. I wouldn't classify it as one of those real buttery ones. There's a couple of them out there that do fall much more into that buttery range. In the not necessarily inexpensive. La Crema has one, I think, in the $15 range. That's a good buttery type one. Toasted Head right in that $12 range. Hess in the $10 range. All have Chardonnays that have a little bit of that buttery quality to them. This one is I'm going to say it defies description, but it does have a much more floral feel to it, with a little bit of that oak buttery feel to it. But not a bad wine. It's certainly not a bad wine, and I think it sells for around $8. So if you want to try something that's a little bit different, give it a try. It does well on its own. As far as matching it up with food, that may be a bit of a challenge. Maybe a salad, a chicken salad, something like that, where you have a little bit of spice and some vegetables with it, might sit well with the floral characteristics of this wine. So there you go. The Meridian goes with just about anything you'd pair Chardonnay up with, so no problems there at all. So as I said, next week we'll have a couple of Cabernets for you, and as always, if there's anything you'd like us to review, let us know. Just jot down a comment somewhere on the site and let me know. I'll do my best to get it on here. And but as always, enjoy your wine, enjoy your holidays, and we'll see you next week right here on The Wine Stain.